The 2013 New York Film Festival is kicking off with an emotional punch that happens to be a true story. Captain Phillips. How are you?
I'm good.
I saw the movie this morning. So good.
What, at 8:30 in the morning?
Well, 10 o'clock, yeah.
Okay, that's a little better, I guess.
Yeah,
okay.
it was
Tough,
great. Congratulations.
Thanks, thank you.
And you know, I was really impressed with how raw and emotional the final scene was.
Yeah.
I mean, it really surprised, it blindsided me. How was it bringing that to life on screen?
Well, it kind of came up by accident because we had been shooting some other stuff per this screenplay and per everything that Paul Greengrass and I had talked about. And while we were on board, the actual captain of the Bainbridge who had rescued Richard Phillips was there, and we just said, all right. Hey, what did you do with Phillips when he got on board? He said, well, he was a mess. So the first thing we did was put him through the infirmary. And Paul said, oh, well, let's go look at the infirmary. And we had the time and the wherewithal, so once we figured out what the procedure was going to be, we just did it to see what was going to happen. And you know,
it just came naturally.
Well, we had been through an awful lot, so
wow.
we were going for something specific that had to be not only the summation of all that we had created in the movie itself, but also to live up to what Richard had written in his book himself. He had a number of very inexplicable emotional breakdowns in the 72 hours or so after his rescue, and he didn't know where they came from. But one of the actual Navy SEALs told them, that said, hey, we go through the same thing. The human body and the human psyche can't go through something like that without there being a bit of a backlash. So we were onto something that seemed to make sense. So we let fly.
My crying I did by myself, but it was the feeling, the emotion, if not the location, was very accurate, because that was when I was by myself and everything sort of decompressed. That's pretty much the way it was.
How is it like walking that fine line between portraying it accurately but not being exploitive?
We got really lucky on this one, to be honest with you. We didn't have to invent anything. We just had to tell the story as it actually unfolded. It's an enormously dramatic, heart-rending, and kind of heartbreaking story. And the challenge here was not to jazz it up in any way. Just present the facts, then go out and get the right director, which we did. Then the director goes out and gets the right cast, which he did. And there are these extraordinary actors giving these extraordinary performances, and that's why you feel what you feel.
I hope they understand the situation between these two guys at the same time. You know, one have his life on track and, you know, just went to school, college, got a job, got a family together, you know, got his life on track. And the other one, no, you know, he have nothing on track. You know, he grew up in a country, the war-torn country, the last 20 years, no job, no hope, nothing, you know. So that was his chance, and he did whatever he can to get there. And now he got it. He has to prove himself that he can do it.
Do you think sometimes today in the world of comic book movies and all these, you know, big fantasy films that, you know, we forget about the ordinary working man?
I think so, and I think what's lovely about, you know, movies like Argo or Zero Dark 30 or our film, like audiences seem ready to embrace stories about our world and characters that come from real life, and it seems like it hasn't been that way since the 1970s, so I'm kind of excited by it, and I like it as a moviegoer too.
The average guy like me, I'm not a hero, I'm not a special guy. Many people could have done what I have done. Yes, and that is the story. It's the regular people who do the extraordinary things for no reason at all to put themselves, you know, in danger or have problems, and they do it because it's the right thing to do, and I don't think enough people do the right thing. A lot of times the right thing to do is hard, it's difficult, it's not good for you personally, but you got to do the right thing.
Also, I have to say, you know, I've seen the Navy and the military in a lot of movies. They are always very cooperative, but you still managed to show me new things here.
Right.
Right? How was it working with the military?
If I could have the military plan and execute every movie I'm involved in, I would do it. They're so precise and on the job and so like into their jobs, and you know, we needed two destroyers and an aircraft carrier, and they were there like when we needed them, and they were in the positions that we needed them to be constantly, and it was just the military, the Navy, the men and women of the Navy were just so into this on so many levels, and we couldn't have done it without them.
Do you feel this movie will help security on ships going forward?
Oh, I don't think any movie will help a ship. I think that has to be done on the ships themselves with the shipping companies to take care of the seafarers that are out there fighting piracy all over the world. It's not just Somalia. Nigeria today is worse than Somalia ever was. we fight piracy all the time. If you don't want to fight piracy, you can't go to sea, because we fight it in Malacca Straits, China, South Vietnam,
Do you think
Philippines.
this movie might get people to maybe change things at the company?
I think most concerned companies are changing things. They have. Many companies now see it with armed security teams. So I think things have changed, but I just hope we don't get complacent and fall behind the progress that the pirates are doing, because they're neither stupid nor unimaginative. They will figure out a new way, and we have to stay ahead of the curve, or we'll be in another situation like this.
The last thing I want to ask you is, how did you get the role?
How I got the role, they came to my neighborhood. It was on local TV channel, and the casting call was in my neighborhood. She was the lead casting. Yeah, so I went there, and I just write down my name, and I keep getting calls back.
Oh, well, you were worth it. You were great. Thank you for your time. Congratulations.